There are plenty of true wireless earbuds out there on the market, so it might be hard to understand where to start. Well, today I'm going to be comparing two relatively affordable products, the Technics EAH-AZ40M2s with the Sony WF-C700N. Now in this video, which has been sponsored by the former manufacturer, I'll be comparing and contrasting the two products and giving you all the information that you need to know before making your informed purchasing decision. Now to kick off, we have to talk about the overall asking price, because the Technics cost between £95 to £130 in the UK, while in the US can be found for around $145. While on the other side, the Sonys can be found for roughly £80 in the UK or $95 in the US. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the package contents, and both are actually relatively similar. It's great to see here that Technics actually do use plastic-free materials. Now with the AZ40M2s, you'll find the earbuds themselves within the charging case, a set of manuals, and then a USB Type-C to Type-C cable, which is actually relatively modern. Then you've also got 4 sets of silicone ear tips. The medium are already fitted on the earbuds, but then you'll also find extra small, small and large. It's good to see different sized ear tips because having the right sort of fit will ensure the best sort of audio quality. Now in the Sonys, you have got the earbuds within the charging case, you've got the set of manuals, and then you have got a USB Type-C to Type-A cable instead. This is actually a little bit more universally adopted. Then you have got only 3 sets of silicone ear tips. Medium yet again are fitted on the earbuds, but then you've also got small and large. So while the differences within the package are not so different, what about when it comes to connectivity? Well, first off, both use Bluetooth, but the Technics operate on version 5.3 while the Sony's on version 5.2. Both are of course backwards compatible and mean that you can walk roughly 10 meters away from your source device such as your smartphone. I didn't encounter any sort of dropouts or any sort of latency issues either, at least with my Android device. Now both of them also support a mono usage. In other words, the left or right earbud can be used independently from the other. For example, if you have the left earbud within your ears and the right earbud within the charging case, or vice versa, that is a plausible listening scenario. Of course, you can use them in a stereo format, which is of course preferred for you to get the best sort of audio fidelity. Now speaking of which, here in terms of the Bluetooth codecs, both of them support the SBC and AAC codecs. However, the Technics also support the highest quality LDAC codec, which will certainly be appreciated for Android users out there. Anyone using Android 8.0 Oreo or above will be able to benefit from the LDAC codec, which ironically is a Sony codec that was developed initially and then given to Android. Now in this respect, the LDAC codec will give you higher quality transmission and means that you're not going to have as much degradation over Bluetooth, which is very much appreciated for the Technics earbuds. Now both the earbuds also support Bluetooth multipoint, which means that you can connect simultaneously to 2 different devices, for example a smartphone and a laptop computer. Now both will of course work over the SBC and AAC codecs, but the Technics will also run simultaneously on 2 different devices using the LDAC codec, which is very much appreciated for those devices that do support it. For example, if you have 2 Android smartphones or of course a Android tablet. Now it is worth pointing out, however, that the Technics do also allow support for 3 devices to be simultaneously paired. However, if you're going to be simultaneously pairing to 3 different devices, the LDAC codec will not be supported on any of the devices, and therefore will resort back to the SBC and AAC codecs. So next up we get on to sound quality, and here the Technics house a 6mm driver while the Sonys a smaller 5mm driver. Now the Sonys have got something called DSEE, which stands for Digital Sound Enhancement Engine. Effectively tries to restore detail in lower bitrate songs, but I actually left this disabled via the app. You have also got something called 360 Reality Audio, but it wasn't really relevant to me. Now what is, however, is the actual raw sound quality, and in this respect I sided towards the Technics. Not only because they've got a slightly larger diameter driver and therefore means that they've got better soundstage and also instrument separation, but also preferred the sound signature. In this respect, I actually own the Technics AZ60s and AZ80s, which I use as a daily driver, and therefore meant it was actually quite favourable to my ears. But of course, over here, both the earbuds have got a similar sort of performance across the sound frequency range. Both of them have got slightly accentuated lows and highs, while the mids are a little bit recessed. Of course, when comparing them to more expensive solutions out there on the market. So moving on, we get on to recording quality, and everything you can hear right now is coming directly from the Technics earbuds. I'll be curious to know what you make of the recording quality down the comment section below. What you should know is that using beamforming technology in order to get the best sort of audio fidelity. Now for me to give you a somewhat realistic demo, I'll be facing my bookshelf speakers and playing back a track. It's from EAH-AZ40M2 and it's titled Like Me. This gives you an indication of how it would perform if you have a busy, noisy environment around you and your recipient is trying to hear you. Now if I go quiet, so hopefully that demo gave you a little bit of an indication of how the Technics earbuds perform, and now we're going to be switching over to the Sony earbuds. So here we are back again, but with the Sony earbuds. Hopefully here you'll be able to tell the differences between the Technics and the Sonys. Now, yet again, I'm going to be facing my bookshelf speakers and playing back EAH-AZ40M2's track. And just so you know that the volume on my computer and indeed the bookshelf speakers has not changed between when I was doing the test with the Technics. And if I just go quiet, so there we go. Hopefully that demo gives you a little indication of how the earbuds perform and compare when it comes to their microphone quality. On the subject of the microphones, it perfectly brings me on to active noise cancellation. And yes, indeed, both these earbuds support ANC. Now you have got the ability of toggling it on and off if you don't want it, and you have also got the ability of enabling an ambient aware mode. In other words, it allows you to hear your surroundings, which can be quite handy, for example, if you're conversing on the street or crossing the road. Now, the earbuds haven't exactly got the best sort of ANC algorithm, at least in comparison to more expensive alternatives out there, but in the grander scheme of things and for the overall price point that they come in at, I've not got any major complaints. So having previously referenced the apps, let's actually talk about it. And first off, you've got the Technics Audio Connect app. In the main interface, you can see the battery level indications of the earbuds and also the charging case. Then also you've got a few quick shortcuts. First off, the ambient sound, which you can enable or disable, and you can also adjust the ambient sound setting. Then you've also got the ability of going via the 5-band EQ, or of course going for the preset EQs, or of course disabling it altogether. And then you can also find the earbuds. Now here you've also got the same sort of shortcuts, and then you've also got the settings cog, which actually presents you a lot more options. You can change the voice prompt language, you can customize the voice prompt, so for example the level of it, and then you've also got the headphone name and also the body color, which will correspond with the main interface. You can add some different earphones and headphones, find them, enable or disable or auto power off, where you've got a few different options to select from. Then you've also got the connection modes, which is actually quite important, because if you want to enable the LDAC codec on Android, then you'll certainly want to do that over here and then enable it via your Bluetooth menu. Then you've got the multi-point setting, where in my case I've got it disabled, but if you do want to enable it for 2 devices or 3 devices, you can do so. Just bear in mind what I did mention with 3 devices and the LDAC codec. Then you've also got suppression of sound interruption and delays, which I've left to automatic, but you can go through different options if you experience any sort of issues. Then you can customize the touch sensors, which I'll touch upon very shortly, but you can do the general operation and telephone, and you've got a good degree of options to choose from, and you can choose it individually between the single tap, double tap, triple tap, and also the touch and hold functions, which is very much appreciated. Then you've also got the touch sensor noise cancellation setting. In other words, when you're changing the noise cancellation setting, which modes does it cycle through? In this respect, noise cancellation ambient sound only, but of course you can have it to turn off ambient sound altogether. Then you've got the ambient sound setting, which I did touch upon before. Then you've got the level of background noise reduction, which I left on normal, but you can go on strong if you again experience any sort of issues. You can select the voice assistant, where it's got Amazon Alexa built in, but I actually have it disabled, and of course you can use the one that's built in with your phone. And then you have got the ability of checking some user guides and also enabling and disabling notifications via the app, for example if you've got a new firmware update. Switching over to the Sonys, we've got the Headphones app, and via it you can see the main interface, the codec that is in usage, the left and right earbud battery levels, and also the charging case. You can also see what is playing. Now, there's also something called adaptive sound control, which is not something that I use, but it effectively allows the app and the earbuds to automatically switch between the ambient sound modes, which can be handy for certain individuals. Now, as for the sound tab itself, you have also got the ability of enabling and disabling noise cancellation, ambient sound, and also going off altogether. You also have an equalizer, which is also very comprehensive. So for example, if you go on the custom mode, you can also adjust the EQ and also the clear bass levels. Then you've also got the ability of finding an equalizer, in other words, doing a slight little listening test. Then you've also got the ability of switching between the Bluetooth connection quality, where I didn't actually have any problems with prioritized sound quality, but of course, if you're going to be in a very busy place, you might want to prioritize a stable connection. And then you've got the DSEE option, which can be enabled or disabled. Now, as for the system tab, you can enable or disable Bluetooth multi-point. As a reminder, it will only support up to 2 devices simultaneously. Then you've got the button functions where you can customize the left and right. So if you go on the settings cog over here, you can switch the left earbud to do different sorts of things, and the right one as well, although you have not got the same degree of customization as with the Technics, so just worth bearing that in mind. Then you've also got the ambient sound control setting, where yet again you've got the ability of flicking through the different modes. You've got an automatic power on and off if you wish to use it, and then you've also got notification and voice guidance, and you can also select the language. Another important factor is battery life, and here it really depends as to how you're using them. Now, first off, with the Technics earbuds, you have got the LDAC codec, and you've also got the SBC and the AAC codec. This will greatly impact the overall battery life, as LDAC actually consumes more power. You also want to know the differences with noise cancellation enabled or disabled. So therefore, you can see a quite detailed breakdown by the manufacturer. Now, in order to charge the earbuds, it will take you roughly 2 hours to go from 0 to 100%, while the charging case itself will take you roughly 2.5 hours. Now, there is a USB Type-C port, and therefore means that you have got quick charging capabilities, and therefore a quick 15 minutes blast of charge will give you roughly 60 to 70 minutes of playback. Now, the Sony earbuds are a little less complex because they only support the SBC and AAC codecs, and therefore means that they've got 7.5 hours of playback time with noise cancellation enabled, and 7.5 hours with the charging case, therefore tallying up to 15 hours. Now, if you have got noise cancellation disabled, this will move up to 10 hours and 10 hours respectively, giving you a total of 20 hours of playback time. Now, the charging case has got a USB Type-C port as well, and therefore a quick 10-minute blast of charge will give you roughly 1 hour of playback. Going from 0 to 100%, the charging case will take you roughly 3 hours, while the earbuds will take you roughly 1.5 hours. With all of that out of the way, I would just like to quickly touch upon the overall build quality and design. And here the Technics weigh in at 5 grams each for the earbuds, while the case comes in at 35 grams. The Sonys are 4.6 grams per earbud, while the case comes in at 31 grams. In terms of the design of them, the Technics have got touch-sensitive pads on either side, which can be handy in certain scenarios, while the Sonys have got a physical button instead, which can be useful if you are going to be wearing gloves. Now, the Sony charging case is a little bit more slender and more cylindrical, while the Technics one is a little bit propped up. Both of them are very pocketable, and of course, given their lightweight nature, is a non-issue. In terms of the colors, both of them I requested were in black, but the Technics are also available in silver and rose gold, while the Sonys are also available in sage green, white and lavender. Now, the earbuds themselves are also IPX4 water resistant. In other words, they'll face any sort of light rain that is going on them, but of course don't go submerging them. So there we have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed my comparison between the Technics and the Sonys. I'll be curious to know what you make of the earbuds down in the comment section below, and of course which one you would pick. Now, if you have enjoyed this detailed comparison, make sure you drop a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, all of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Totally Dubbed, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.